But in any case, so as we mentioned, it's day 38 of the shutdown. I think if anything, the Dems are more emboldened. As I've said before, I think they could have taken a win a few weeks ago with the insurance issue on the table, but here we are. And so
I think
now
they're
I really think it's in the president's interest, excuse me, in the president's interest to solve this. And if I were he, I would say, okay, we'll extend the Obamacare subsidies, maybe do it just for 2 years, maybe phase out some of the higher income strata, something like that, and then be done with it. And he could claim a win. But I just don't, I think it's on the onus, particularly after this election, it's on the Republicans. And Republican strategists might have warned the party that if before the election, canceling the tunnel in New Jersey and telling all these employees in Virginia that they might not get back pay probably wasn't the best strategy. But given all that, I think it's now the onus is more on the Republicans to, particularly the president, to solve it. But what do you think, Ashley?
Yeah, I think, I'm watching, like, what's happening right this minute when the senators on both sides of the aisle are trying to get together for just a small package of 3 bills, and they're having trouble just getting that kinda cobbled together. I don't think we're gonna solve the healthcare subsidy issue before the government reopens because I think it's gonna take a little bit of time. And so if there has to be some guarantee that some of the moderate Democrats who wanna reopen, not even moderate, but just Democrats that wanna reopen, that they'll definitely get a vote. But you heard what the speaker said. He's like, "I'm not gonna guarantee a vote." Now, he may have to change that and pass this with a bunch of Democrats, but it's not gonna be we can't just flip a switch right now and do subsidies. It's gonna take a couple weeks of negotiations because there's no way, no matter what, that Republicans are gonna let this just be a complete extension. They're gonna have to have an off ramp. It's in some form or fashion. We've been talking about this for a long time, whether it's a income threshold or whatever. Maybe the off ramp is 2 years. I mean, I don't know what those details are gonna be yet, but I think the government has to reopen as that's being negotiated because otherwise, I mean, Kurt and I were talking at the beginning. I mean, all of us were. I mean, the plane situation is kind of like a big deal. Not kind of, it
Well,
is.
that's what helped
And
them to shut down last time was the whole ATC thing. Yeah.
Well, and you look at like, we're a couple weeks away from Thanksgiving time, and
Oof.
I've always felt that this shutdown wasn't going to get anywhere near a resolution until it got real for everyday Americans. Up to this point, unless you're a federal worker, you really haven't been impacted by the shutdown in your day-to-day life. You're not really thinking about it. But now it gets real because everyday things are about to get disrupted. And when that happens, that has a chain reaction, and it all ends up with the American people pissed at their elected representatives on both sides of the aisle, frankly. I've always believed that the shutdown game is a plague on both their houses. I always think that the party that is in the majority takes the bigger blunt of it, just by you got the majority. You have the perception that you're in charge, and most people, they don't know what the filibuster is. They don't know that there's a 60 vote threshold in the Senate. They're not paying attention that closely, frankly, to the mechanics of how the House and Senate function. And so, I think that for a long time, Republicans felt like we can get it. This is great. We're going to be able to fire a bunch of federal workers, and we're going to undo federal spending, and we're gonna run roughshod over everybody. This is going to be fantastic. And then reality hit them on Tuesday, and it's really the first reality check that I feel like the Republicans have had, since when the election happened in the first place, and they are in a really tough spot. And I think that the best case for Democrats is to start negotiating directly with the president and cut the Senate Republicans out of the loop completely. Because if Trump agrees to a deal, and Trump is a consummate guy looking for a deal, then it's kind of game over. And Trump already angered Senate Republicans by going out there and saying that they've lost the shutdown. I mean, that was completely contrary to the messaging of every Republican until the president himself yesterday walks out there and goes, "Well, we've lost the shutdown. We're getting slaughtered out there." The president's already set a goalpost of how this is playing. It's clear he wants this over.
Yeah, and trying to argue for the end of the filibuster, that's not helping, his relations either. But
Yeah.
what do you think in terms of how long this is going to last? I can't believe that it would drag through Thanksgiving. I think that just the potential of
No, Thanksgiving's the
nightmare.
27th of November,
Right.
so
So
that's
I think
basically
we
3 weeks
get
from now. I think it's around the 19th, 18th, 19th is when this gets done.
I think I wanna see what happens this weekend. Does the Senate really stay? And do we get enough Democrats to vote for this 3 package deal? I think that will be a big,
Yeah, well, it's a
but then
3-day
we
weekend. Veterans Day on Monday. They're all going to get out of Dodge, I
no,
bet.
Veterans Day is on Tuesday, which is so weird. I don't quite
Yeah, it's
Oh yeah,
understand
Tuesday.
that.
Tuesday,
So
but
so they'll really be out of Dodge.
well,
Yeah.
that's what they're concerned about right now is an attendance problem. Even if Thune keeps them in, do they just go home anyway?
If can and, what will be really interesting is if you have a bunch of senators trying to get out of DC and they can't because flights get canceled, then they're stuck there doing live interviews with CNN and DCA.
Yeah, they'll be interviewing senators, at the clogged areas, but in front of the gate with people sleeping on the seats and all that wonderful airport uh, congestion scenes that
If
you
you're a member
see.
of Congress who has to go through one of the top 40 major airport hubs, I would very much encourage you to drive or not leave at all. Like that could be
I
that
think
could be
practically
devastating PR wise if you see a bunch of lawmakers who are trapped at airports.
I think that practically political should get an airplane, and so the 3 of us don't have to ever go to an airport.
There
Now
we
you're
go.
talking. Where's
Dave,
the
you're in
jet?
We
charge.
can bop
Yeah,
around the country and
I mean he's got a
see
boat, so
whomever,
now we need a
whenever.
plane.
Yeah, exactly. We'd be like Bernie Sanders and AOC.
Yeah,
They're happy to hop around in their private jet.
yeah.
Exactly. It would be great, PR because we could put practically political on the
Oh, on the side of the
wings.
plane.
On the
Absolutely.
Yeah.
side of the plane,
Well,
yeah, of
speaking of
course.
that, that's a perfect segue into my